Okay, let's unpack this. Um, how many times have you felt that little knot in your stomach when you're facing a menu in English? Wondering what to say or how to respond. That moment where ordering even like a simple glass of water feels like you're trying to navigate this linguistic maze, and suddenly, poof, your English feels like it's just gone on vacation without you.
Oh, absolutely. It's an incredibly common feeling, one that so many language learners experience, believe me.
Yeah.
But honestly, mastering this one specific skill, confidently ordering food, asking questions about the menu, and simply navigating those restaurant conversations, it really does profoundly transform your travel experiences.
Totally.
It can even make everyday interactions, maybe in an English-speaking environment you live in, just so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Turns potential stress into, well, genuinely delightful moments.
Absolutely. And that's precisely our mission today, isn't it? This deep dive is all about giving you the confidence to walk into pretty much any restaurant and engage like a local. We've poured through some fantastic source material that breaks down every single step of the dining experience, makes it incredibly accessible, really, even if you're just starting out on your English journey.
Yeah, and by the end of this deep dive, you'll discover that those moments that maybe felt a bit daunting before, they'll just click into place for you. You'll learn how to order food naturally, ask about dishes without hesitation, understand what your waiter says, and use all those essential phrases for various restaurant situations. It's about building practical, real-world fluency.
Exactly. We're covering it all. From the very first greeting as you walk in the door, to asking about the menu, understanding the waiter's questions, all the way to confidently paying the bill, and even those, subtle but crucial cultural nuances like small talk and tipping. We're going to equip you with the full
It's
toolkit.
going to be comprehensive.
Definitely. So, are you ready? Let's get started. All right, let's kick things off right at the very beginning. That first interaction when you step inside a restaurant. It seems simple, right? But it can often feel like the first little hurdle to clear.
Hmm.
The waiter will almost certainly greet you with a friendly, "Hi, how many people?" Or maybe "Table for two."
Yeah, those are the classics.
I vividly remember a time, I think I was traveling solo in London, and for some reason, that simple "how many" completely threw me. My mind just went totally blank, searching for these complex sentences when, well, a simple answer was all that was needed. But once you know these straightforward phrases, it becomes effortless, honestly.
And that's the beauty of it. Your natural responses are incredibly straightforward and, crucially, universally understood. You can simply say, "A table for two, please." Or, if you're dining solo, like you are, "Just me, thank you." Very simple. And what's fascinating here, and quite important for cultural understanding, is why these phrases work so well. They're direct, yes, but they're also polite. Adding that simple word "please" isn't just a nicety. It instantly signals respect. Respect for the person serving you. Respect for the interaction itself.
That makes sense.
In English-speaking cultures, this sort of softening of language is, well, it's deeply ingrained. It transforms what could be a direct request into more of an invitation, making the whole transaction feel collaborative rather than demanding. It's efficient, it's clear, and it's considered highly courteous.
That really smooths the way for the entire interaction, doesn't it? Because you start off on the right foot. So think about it. If you're that solo traveler, "Just me, thank you, perfect." If you're with a group, maybe your family, it just becomes a table for four, please, easy peasy.
Exactly. Numbers are easy to swap in.
Or maybe you walk in and nobody greets you immediately. You might need to initiate the request. You can confidently walk up and ask, "Do you have a table for three?" Or however many.
Right, taking the initiative sometimes.
And often, the waiter might even gesture towards a table or hold up fingers to indicate party size, which definitely takes some of the pressure off, especially if you're feeling a bit nervous. Those visual cues are super helpful.
They really are. It's a combination of verbal and nonverbal communication.
Okay, so you've smoothly navigated the greeting, you've got your table, you've been seated, you've got the menu in your hand, you know exactly what you want to eat. Maybe you've been dreaming about this dish all day. But how do you actually voice that? How do you say it without sounding, well, demanding?
Yeah, this is a big one.
That direct "I want" isn't quite right in English, is it? And it's a very common learner mistake that can come across as maybe abrupt or even almost impolite in a service setting.
Precisely. What's crucial to understand here is the nuance of politeness embedded in everyday ordering phrases. It's subtle, but important. Instead of a direct "I want," which implies a demand, natural phrases like "I'll have the chicken sandwich, please," or "Can I get a large coffee?" Or maybe "I'd like the pasta with tomato sauce," are far more appropriate and, well, polite.
So I'll have, can I get, I'd like. Those are the key ones.
Those are your go-to phrases, absolutely. I'll have implies a decision you've made, you're ready for the service to be initiated. It's quite confident,
Yeah.
but still polite with please. Can I get is framed as a polite request, sort of acknowledging the waiter's role in bringing you the item, and it feels a little softer perhaps. And I'd like is similar to our have, but maybe slightly more formal or gentle. They all work wonderfully.
And they connect to that cultural expectation of service you mentioned.
Exactly. Politeness facilitates a smooth and pleasant interaction for everyone involved. It's just how things generally operate in these settings.
Okay, let's put these into practice a bit more then, because the more you hear them, the more natural they'll feel, right? Okay, you be the waiter again. I'm the customer. I've studied the menu. I'm ready to order. I'm feeling hungry.
All right, fire away. What can I get for you today?
Okay. I think I'll have the steak, medium rare, please. And, it's been a long day, so can I get a glass of your house red wine with that?
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
And see, that's exactly how you use I'll have and can I get just seamlessly in one order. I'll have is perfect for your main dish, a clear declaration of your choice, and then can I get works perfectly for the drink, a polite request for something additional.
Right. It felt quite natural, actually. And I'd like is also incredibly versatile, isn't it? Especially for maybe those little additions or modifications. Like, I'd like a side salad instead of fries, if that's an option. Or maybe later on, I'd like the chocolate cake for dessert, please.
Exactly. Gives you so much flexibility to express precisely what you want, but again, in that polite framework. These phrases also subtly manage expectations for both you and the waiter. They implicitly signal, okay, I'm ready to order now, which helps the whole flow of service in the restaurant.
It's about creating a smooth, efficient, and polite transaction.
That's it. It literally greases the wheels of social interaction in that context.
Okay, but what if you're looking at the menu and you see a dish name you just don't recognize at all? Or maybe you have specific dietary needs, like an allergy or an intolerance. This raises an important question. How do you get clarity without feeling awkward or, like you're being a bother?
A very common concern.
Because it's always better to ask than to be surprised, right? I once, somewhat bravely, I thought at the time, ordered something called Chef's Surprise at this tiny little cafe. I was thinking, ooh, this will be a delightful mystery.
Uh-oh, I feel where this is going.
Well, it turns out the surprise was a very generous helping of liver, which, let's just say, is not exactly my culinary passion.
Oh, dear.
A simple, what's in the chef's surprise would have saved me, and probably the chef, a very awkward moment. Asking is key.
That's such a great and slightly painful anecdote, and it perfectly illustrates the point. Polite inquiry phrases are your absolute best friend here. Don't be shy. You can ask, what's in the chicken Alfredo? Or the more general, can you tell me what's in this dish? Maybe while pointing to the menu item.
Okay.
If you're concerned about spiciness, a common one, is this spicy, is perfectly acceptable and very clear. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, clear communication here isn't just about politeness, although it is polite. It's fundamentally about your safety, especially if you have allergies. And it's about ensuring your meal is genuinely enjoyable, not, a liver surprise you didn't sign up for.
Absolutely. And when it comes to those dietary restrictions or allergies, being crystal clear is crucial. It's not just polite, it's necessary for your well-being. So you can say things like, does this have nuts? I'm allergic. That's very direct and important. Or maybe, is this dish vegetarian?
Yep, clear and unambiguous.
And if you need a modification, like maybe you don't eat dairy, can you make this without cheese? Or can this be prepared without butter? Is the way to go.
Exactly. Most restaurants are very accustomed to handling these requests, especially regarding common allergies or dietary choices like vegetarianism or gluten-free needs. Let's try another mini scenario. Imagine you're at a new Thai restaurant, somewhere you've never been. You see a dish called Tom Kha Gai on the menu. Sounds interesting, but you're allergic to shellfish and you're not sure if it's in there. How would you ask?
Okay, right. Good one. I'd probably try to catch the waiter's eye politely and say, excuse me, can you tell me what's in the Tom Kha Gai? Or to be even more specific about the allergy, I might say, does the Tom Kha Gai contain any shellfish? I have an allergy.
Perfect. Both are excellent. The first is a general inquiry. The second is very specific about the allergy concern. Being direct about an allergy is always the safest approach. Or, maybe it's not an allergy, but a strong dislike. I know people who absolutely despise cilantro, for instance.
Oh, yeah, that's a common one.
So you could absolutely ask, does this dish have cilantro? Or can I get this without cilantro? Waiters are generally used to these kinds of questions and requests. Don't hesitate to ask for what you need to enjoy your meal safely and happily.
Great advice. Okay, so you've asked your questions, you've clarified anything you were unsure about, you've made your choices. Now, the focus shifts a bit. It's the waiter's turn. Shifting our focus to active listening is really key here, isn't it? Understanding what they need from you to complete your order or serve you correctly.
Absolutely. They might ask some standard follow-up questions.
Right, like almost certainly, would you like something to drink? Especially if you haven't ordered one yet.
Or if you've ordered something specific like a steak, as in your earlier example, they'll almost certainly ask, how would you like your steak cooked?
Ah, yes, the steak question.
And for many main courses, particularly in North American restaurants, do you want fries or a salad with that is a very, very common question about side dishes. And this brings us to a compelling observation about common pairings and standard options. Waiters often offer these standard sides, fries, salad, maybe baked potato because they are popular and come with the dish usually. But you often do have a choice, and they expect you to state your preference. Don't feel obligated to take the first option offered if you prefer something else that's available.
Good point. So for drinks, a simple, yes, I'll have a glass of water, please. Or if you're all set, no, thank you, I'm fine for now, works perfectly.
Keep it simple.
Now, when it comes to steak, knowing that doneness scale is super helpful for clarity. Let's quickly run through it again because it trips people up sometimes.
Oh.
You've got rare, which is very red and cool in the center. Then medium rare, which is warm and still quite pink or red inside.
My personal favorite.
Mine too. Then medium, which has a warm pink center, less red. Medium well, which has just a hint of pink left. And finally, well done, which has no pink at all, cooked through. So you can confidently reply, medium rare, please, or well done, thank you, depending on your preference.
Knowing those terms makes that interaction very smooth.
Definitely. And for sides, you might say, I'll have the fries, please. Or if you prefer a healthier option, can I get a side of vegetables instead? Or maybe could I substitute the fries for the soup? It's always worth asking politely.
Absolutely. Knowing these common questions and having prepared simple responses will truly help you feel prepared for almost any restaurant conversation. Even if something slightly unusual happens, like maybe a waiter offers you the dessert menu before your main course has even arrived, happens sometimes,
True.
you can politely but firmly say, oh, not yet, thank you, maybe after the main course. It's about managing the pace of your meal, too. Just listen for those keywords like drink, cooked, side, or the word or, which usually signals a choice. That active listening really empowers you in the moment.
Okay, fantastic. So the meal was delicious, you've eaten, you're full, you're satisfied. Now it's time for the final act, paying the bill, getting the check, and making your exit smoothly.
The grand finale.
The waiter might prompt you, especially if you've been lingering a while after finishing, by asking something like, would you like the check? Or maybe anything else for you, which often implies, are you ready for the check?
Right, it's a gentle nudge sometimes.
And your responses are quite simple and direct here, too. You can signal you're ready by saying, can I get the check, please? Or perhaps, we're ready for the bill, thank you.
Check and bill are often used interchangeably, especially between American and British English, but both are understood.
Good point. Or if the waiter asks anything else and you're finished, you can say, no, that's all, thank you. Just the check, please.
Simple and clear. Now, what's fascinating here and incredibly important for travelers is the whole culture around tipping. It varies so much globally. In places like the US or Canada, it's standard practice to leave a tip for the waiter, typically somewhere in the range of 15 to 20% of the total bill before tax.
15 to 20%, okay.
Yeah, this practice is really deeply ingrained in the service industry culture there. And it's largely because service industry wages often rely heavily on tips as a significant portion of income. It's just fundamentally how the economic system for that sector works in those countries.
That's a really critical point to understand the why behind it. It's not just an optional extra sometimes, it's expected as part of the compensation structure. And you can politely get the waiter's attention, maybe a little wave or catch their eye and say, excuse me, could we get the check whenever you have a moment?
Yeah.
That's a very common, polite phrase. It doesn't sound demanding.
Very polite, yes. Gives them flexibility.
But here's the interesting part that really highlights those cultural differences we talked about. If you're dining out in Japan, for example, tipping is actually not common at all.
Not at all.
In fact, attempting to leave a tip can sometimes even be seen as a bit rude or confusing. Good service is simply expected as part of the standard price you pay for the meal.
Exactly. Or in some European countries, a service charge might already be included in the bill, so an additional tip isn't always necessary. or it might just be rounding up the amount. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, being aware of these local cultural norms around tipping shows immense respect. It helps you avoid awkward situations, maybe unintentional offense, or even just confusion.
Right.
Before traveling to a new country, doing a quick online search, just tipping customs and country name, is always a fantastic idea. Takes 2 minutes. It's a small act that demonstrates cultural sensitivity and awareness.
Definitely worth doing that homework. Now, we've talked a lot about the words to use, the phrases, but it's not just about knowing the right vocabulary, is it? It's really about the delivery, too.
Oh, absolutely critical.
In English-speaking cultures, generally, politeness is paramount. You can have all the right phrases memorized, word perfect, but without that polite tone and sprinkling in those, let's call them matching words, it can still sound a bit stiff or maybe even unintentionally rude.
That's spot on. A simple please and thank you aren't just polite extras. They're essential social lubricants. They really significantly improve the overall interaction. They convey respect for the service provider's effort and, their autonomy as a person helping you. Think about the difference between give me a coffee versus can I get a coffee, please?
Huge difference in feeling.
Massive difference. The second one immediately softens the request and builds that tiny little bridge of goodwill. And when someone does something for you, brings your food, refills your water, a warm thanks so much, or oh, lovely, thank you, or I really appreciate it, goes an incredibly long way. These little phrases are about connection, not just a mere transaction.
So, my advice, echoing yours, is if in doubt, add a please or thank you. You truly can almost never be too polite in these service situations. It's always better to err on the side of politeness. You can say a quick thank you when your drinks arrive, another thanks when your food is served, thank you when they clear the plates, thanks when the bill comes. These small acknowledgments create a much more pleasant and human atmosphere for everyone involved. You, the server, even other diners around you probably appreciate it.
Well said. And this focus on pleasant interaction brings us to another fascinating aspect of dining, particularly in places like the US or the UK, small talk.
Ah, yes, the small talk hurdle.
This raises an important question about the role of these sort of social pleasantries in a service context. It's not necessarily about launching into a deep, meaningful conversation over your soup,
Definitely not.
but it's often about a brief moment of connection that humanizes the whole transaction and helps build a little rapport. Waiters are often encouraged, sometimes even trained, to engage in this kind of brief, friendly banter.
Yes, this is where it gets particularly interesting for some listeners, maybe a bit intimidating for others, the small talk. In American and British culture especially, a brief, friendly chat with your waiter is pretty common. It's not guaranteed, but it happens a lot. The waiter might start with something simple like, how's your day going, as they pour your water? Or maybe check in mid-meal with, how's everything with your meal? Or is everything okay here?
Very standard questions.
And it's important to remember, like you said, it's just a quick acknowledgement, a friendly nod, not usually an invitation to tell your entire life story, unless you really hit it off, I suppose.
Unlikely during a busy dinner service.
Probably not. So your responses can be equally simple and brief. It's going great, thanks. How about yours? Or just, everything's good, thanks. Or, yes, it's delicious, thank you. Let's try it quickly. You're the friendly waiter. I'm the diner enjoying my steak.
All right, I'm checking in on you mid-meal. How's everything tasting for you today?
Oh, it's absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. This steak is cooked perfectly. Really good.
Perfect. See, you acknowledged the question, gave a positive response, maybe added a tiny specific compliment. You don't have to elaborate much beyond that. It's simply a polite and brief reply. It's perfectly sufficient, especially if you're maybe a bit shy or you're deep in conversation with your dining companion or simply focused on enjoying your food. It just builds that little bit of rapport without demanding much effort from either party. It's a micro moment of human connection in the midst of service.
Nicely put. A micro moment of connection. I like that. So let's pull all this together. What does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, hopefully it means you are now equipped with the phrases, the strategies, and the cultural understanding to confidently take on pretty much any restaurant in an English-speaking country.
That's the goal.
We've covered confidently ordering your food and drinks, asking those intelligent questions about the menu when you need clarity, understanding what the waiter might ask you, navigating the whole payment and tipping process, and even handling those crucial social cues like politeness and small talk that make all the difference to the feel of the interaction.
And remember, practice truly does make perfect. Or maybe practice makes progress, which is even better. These aren't just tools for theoretical knowledge locked away in your brain. They're absolutely for real-world application.
Mm.
The more you actively use these phrases, engage in these simple interactions, the more natural and comfortable they'll become over time. It's like flexing a muscle.
Absolutely. So, building on that, here's your challenge for today. We want you to take this out of the theoretical and into the practical. It's a 3-step challenge. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Step 1. Sometime today or tomorrow, imagine you're at a restaurant, maybe your favorite one, or one you'd like to try. Sit down, close your eyes maybe, and practice ordering a full meal, drinks, appetizer, main course, maybe dessert out loud. Really visualize the waiter, the menu, the whole scene.
Good visualization practice.
Step 2, record yourself saying it out loud. Just use the voice memo app on your phone, nothing fancy. Listen back to it. How do you sound? Do you sound hesitant or confident? It's just for you, no judgment.
Self-assessment is powerful.
And step 3, this is the real world bit. Try using at least one new phrase or technique from this deep dive when you next order food or drink this week. Even if it's just ordering your morning coffee, try, "Can I get a large latte, please?" instead of your usual way. Or maybe ask a question about a pastry. Small steps.
That's a great challenge. Embrace the learning process, really, and celebrate those small victories along the way. Every polite phrase you use successfully, every clear question you manage to ask, every time you understand the waiter without panic, that's a genuine step closer to true fluency and real-world confidence. Be proud of that progress.
Definitely. And hey, we'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Tell us what's your favorite dish to order when you're speaking English, or perhaps what's one phrase from today's deep dive that you're excited to try out next time you're in a restaurant or a cafe. Let us know.
Yeah, share your experiences. And maybe here's a final thought to mull over. Think about this. While the words, the actual phrases we've discussed, give us the structure and allow us to convey our literal message, "I want steak," essentially it's really that combination of using the right words with politeness and confidence that truly makes the whole experience flow. It invites not just a transaction for a meal, but potentially more genuine human interaction. So the bigger thought is, how else can understanding these subtle cultural norms, these nuances of interaction, unlock deeper connections and richer experiences in your daily life, far beyond just ordering food?
Ooh, that's a great question to ponder. How understanding the how and why unlocks more than just the what. Love that. Such a great thought to end on. Now, looking ahead, tomorrow we'll be diving into another absolutely essential skill: how to ask for and give directions in English. Another key piece for navigating any English-speaking environment with confidence. So don't miss it.
Crucial skill, that one. Looking forward to it.
See you tomorrow. Until then, keep talking, keep practicing, and most importantly, enjoy learning English.
Bye for now, and happy dining.